Hello, Tony's right. So this is a quick pop-in for the week. We're going into week 4, which means we're getting closer to a third of the way through the semester. It's a 15-week semester. So we're a third of the way through basically now. Interesting. I am still struggling to adjust to classes, but it doesn't feel like bad. I'm getting in the rhythm. I've like followed up with like people and like, hey, like da 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 da, like I'm ready. I can do this stuff now. Blah blah blah. So it feels good, and yeah, like it feels good. It feels like I'm on track. I'm having stuff to do with my classwork. And then I'm getting back into the swing of things like vending, getting back in the swing of things like writing, and it's just like a good kind of thing. I have done 2 workshops by now, and we're posting our revisions, and we have like in about 2 weeks I do my presentation, and I think my group presentation for my other class is gonna come up in like the next 2 weeks. There's somebody downstairs. We're steadily just moving ahead. I feel like it's coming to mind what I ultimately want to do with my thesis, and I'm still not solidified on that yet, but I think I'm getting my writing chops up because I really want to get into the habit of writing more so that like it's easier to just get out of the slumps. I don't want to be in slumps for 10 years at a time. I want to get into writing and making and doing and in the flow process of stuff because it just makes more sense for me to get into that. So there's that. Let's see. I am looking into different places that I'm applying to for submissions, and it's really eye-opening because a lot of submissions actually open up in the fall because they're getting ready to print for 2026. So summer kind of onward. There's been like a whole bunch of openings, and I've let like quite a few like pass by and stuff like that because I just wasn't in the mood. But now that I'm writing, I have to write for my classes. I'm just starting to challenge myself with writing things. So I've written a few microfiction pieces, and I'm going to be starting back on my poetry again. And I've been trying to read poetry as well so that I can like get into the mindset of reading a collection of work. I have to follow it with the publishing, the review place that I like definitely ditched for like 6 months almost. And it's just a combination of not knowing what to say and then being like just stressed out about everything else. And I was just like all over the place. So yeah, right now I'm reading Questions for Water by Virginia Crawford. I'm not done just yet. Yeah, okay. So I'm like almost 2/3 of the way through. And then once I finish it, I will have a review up for you guys talking about it. It is one of the writers that I got for from ESWA, and yeah, like I've been reading through it. I'm trying to also, while I am in a class that reads every week, a book a week, I'm also reading poetry so that I'm getting myself just familiar with the craft. And I think being in a semester, I like the structure of classes. I like the structure of being in a cohort and doing the workshops and stuff like that. But I really have started to try and get my own initiative to get up and write and submit places. Because last school year, I didn't have the publications that I wanted, meaning I had a goal usually of getting published twice a semester, and I didn't really apply anywhere to get published. And so there's a lot of reasons for that, like trying to get my life together. And I explained that in previous videos. But yeah, I am coming off of a writer's high because I am doing 2 submissions this weekend. And I'll let you know how those go. But I'm doing 2 submissions. And I am working on those pieces, and right now in my micro nano flash fiction bag, really micro fiction, which is like roughly up to about 500-ish words or so. I'm in my bag with that, and so I just finished a piece, and when I write, I do edit myself a little bit. I try to edit myself, but I'm going back through the piece. And I'm so like happy about it. And it's like, it's a happiness and joy that it's surprising because I haven't even had that like with like poetry really. And I think this is where I want to be if I'm on like my fiction memoir wave, like the nano micro space, and it's really becoming more interesting to me. And so I just had a good writing session of about 30 minutes. And now I'm going to go back and edit it as I apply for the places because they're due this weekend and stuff like that. And so I feel really good about that. I feel really good. I feel great. I feel like I'm on top of the world. It's like I'm on top of the world. It just feels good to it feels good to be here. Okay, let me save this just so I know. Would say one thing I recommend you guys get is a submittable and just start peeking around there. I am working up to larger goals of chapbooks and things like that. I have to take stock of my work, and that's something that I'm gonna have to do. I'm gonna have to go through my works and just make sure that I know. And so I started to set up an Excel sheet for that. And so I'm gonna try and put all of my my portfolio work. So I have to go through each portfolio, figure that out, and put the individual poems in there, where I submitted them, where they've been, because it's really important. I am really interested in making sure that I am diversifying where I'm going. And because I'm writing poetry and nano micro fiction memoir, I am interested in making sure that I have a range of spaces now. And it's kind of funny because I reflect on it when I came in. It's interesting. So I didn't start wanting to be a poet. I wanted to be a fiction writer, specifically fantasy. And through this program, it's very interesting that I fell back in love with writing fiction, memoir-esque type things because, especially fiction, because at some point I had given that up. I had given up that I could do this, right? I'd given up that I could write these things and just let it kind of die. And I kind of had settled on poetry, but the really miraculous thing about it is that I am a writer and I will write many different things, and I am not going to limit myself to writing just poetry because I'm on a poetry track. It really freed me up second year to take a class where I was exposed to all of these and then writing all of them, because I found that I really enjoy them. I really enjoy micro nano, and I feel like it's a space that people overlook. There's so many things that you can write under 100 words or 200 or 300 or 500 words. There's so many things that you can do. There's so many ways that you can attack writing. And I think once you get over the idea that it has to be this big, epic novel, this long ode to grass or something like that, it has to be the greats, right? And that's debatable depending on who you talk to. But once you get into writing, you find that it's a broad space. And I really like that it's a broad space and it's opening up my thing. And a little bit of the pessimism is gone. Because we had to do an Ars Poetica thing, and the response to that was like so like why is this so negative, kind of thing. And it's funny because it's like I'm gonna write it the way I want. But I really like where these writing sessions this week has gone, and expanding and exploring and stuff like that, getting me truer to the things that I even want to write about, like yeah, getting me close to the things I want to write about. One day, I guess I'll read some of this stuff once it's like published and stuff and show you guys all kind of stuff. But yeah, the writer's high is like real. Like runner's high, writer's high is real. It's real. When you feel like you've like done something, you're like, yeah, I did it. Yes. That's really good. So my encouragement for this week would be to keep writing, expand your writing. If you feel like it's such a Herculean task, choose smaller pieces of writing to submit places if you're going to submit, and just work on that, because that is a craft in itself. Writing 50 words that like really matter and are tight and like pack a punch, that takes as much skill and perhaps even more than the person who is writing 50,000, 100,000 words. It's just, one is going to be a very long process because it's going to take months, if not years. But also you could take months, if not years, to get this 50 words down, So don't be discouraged. Keep the course. I'm really excited. And I'll, I guess, talk to you guys a little bit more about that. Okay. Thanks for watching. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.